There are so many people out there that are trying to time the market. And I think there's three scenarios that we need to consider here. Buying your first home or buying a home where you don't have one to sell, selling your home. And then the third one, probably the most complex, is you need to sell and buy on the same day. And there's so many people out there right now that are confused. Welcome to the Chattanooga Real Estate Pulse, where my goal is to bring value to you as a buyer, seller, investor, and help you get to your next real estate goal a little bit easier. So today I want to talk about property timing tactics. When is the right time? What should prices be at? Is it spring? Is it winter? Is it summer? Is it the season? Do I wait for the election? There's all these questions that people are asking right now. And so what I want to do today is help you navigate through a couple of these scenarios, all three scenarios. So let's first start with just buying a home. So when it comes to timing the market, when it comes to buying a home, the first question you have to ask yourself is, how long do you plan on staying in the home? If you look at statistics historically, and when I say historically, I mean like the past 100 years, and that may not be super relevant, but if you look at the past even 20 or 30 years, and you look to see what's happened over history, what you'll see is that the real estate market prices always go up. Now, they go down, but then they come up even higher. And then they dip down a little bit and they come up even higher. So I would challenge you right now, maybe even pause the video and Google historic real estate prices. You're going to see that graph go up in every scenario you see. So the question you've got to ask yourself first when buying is, how long am I likely to stay in this home or keep the home if it's for investment property? Cycles generally happen in 7-year cycles at the most. If you plan on staying in the home for 4 to 7 years, you're likely to be fine. If you plan on staying in the home for more than 7 years, you're going to be absolutely golden according to statistics. According to statistics. So I want to challenge you to, one, make an informed decision just by looking at history. So if you're saying, hey, I'm about to buy my first home or my next home, I plan on staying in it for a while, trying to time the market is just a devil's game. It's not worth it, because what's going to happen at the end is what makes the most sense. I watched a video the other day, and it was a question to Warren Buffett. And someone was in an interview and they asked him, hey, how do you feel about this stock? You've lost so much money. Warren Buffett said, I haven't lost anything because I haven't sold the stock. Well, the same thing applies to real estate. You don't lose anything if the market dips a little bit and then jumps back up by the time you're going to sell it. So don't try to time the market. Now, if you're a fix and flip kind of person, I think you need to have a very honest conversation with your real estate professional and figure out, how long is it going to take you to flip the home? What is that project going to look like? If you can do it within 6 months, you're probably going to be okay. If you do it within a year, if it's going to take you a long time to flip that home, you need to have a very healthy conversation of, what do we think is likely to happen? What season are we going to end up in when it's time to sell? And how is that going to affect you? So it really comes down to, are you looking at a short-term move, or are you planning on owning this home for a period of time? Now, that's on the buy side. When it comes to selling your home, timing the market is kind of a dangerous thing, because if you're thinking about selling, chances are you want to move now or within the next few months. Other than COVID, I have never known of a time in my 19-year career history where anybody has been able to time the market. There are very few scenarios. And even with COVID, I got to say, there was no timing the market either, because nobody knew when prices were going to start to get volatile. They just kept going up and up and up. So when it comes to selling your home, I would follow, what is the end goal you're looking for? If it is, I want to move to my next home, the thing you've got to consider is, maybe you're selling and you have the ability to buy. And so you go ahead and buy first, and you're like, do I hold this house to sell? I think that's a good conversation to have with your realtor and your financial planner to figure out, does taxes play an implication into this? Also, keep in mind, a lot of people think that if because it was their personal residence, that they're not subject to capital gains. Well, there is a time frame that if you pass, it's considered no longer your personal residence and you could be subject to capital gains. So that's a great question to ask your realtor or your tax advisor in that matter. So you got to be careful when timing to sell. I would follow your goals of what you need to do. The goal is to sell the house. With probably now is the right time to put it on the market. But it's a very intimate question you got to have with your realtor and any other professionals that are helping you make this decision. Now, the hardest one is I want to make a move, but I must sell my house first. I need to get the equity. How do I time this? So I don't have a templated answer that's going to fit all people in every scenario. It really depends because you have options. So let's say you're in a situation. Let's talk about the hardest situation first. You purchased your home not that long ago. There's not a lot of extra equity in it because you've borrowed maybe 100% on the home and you need to make the move for whatever reason that may be. Now you're looking at making a move, and the thing that's holding you back isn't always necessarily a down payment. It could be your debt to income ratio. A lender is going to ask you, or they're going to verify how much income you earn versus how much debt you have. Some people are fortunate enough that they can maybe carry 2 mortgages at the same time, but many can't. And so you've got to figure out how to time it properly. Talking with a real estate professional is going to help you seek out some options that you have. One option that is working in today's market, we are past COVID, it is working in today's market, is listing your home and accepting an offer based on the fact that you find suitable housing. There are buyers out there that don't have to move today and they're willing to wait for you to find your next home. So that is one great scenario that can work. Doesn't work every time, but it definitely is a tool that you can have in your tool belt. Another scenario is making sure that you price the home aggressively to where you can create what we call event-based pricing, meaning you may want to get the most money for your home, and your agent probably does too. But if you overprice the home, it can sit and become a stale listing and become very difficult for you to make that move. And so another way you can do it is focus on event-based pricing, which means we might price the home slightly below the market to generate a frenzy for a lot of people to want to be competitive to come in and give you over asking. That is still happening if it's the right home. This is another one that depends. If you've got a great house, and let's define great house, no apologies. Lots of people would want it. This could work for you. Another scenario could be no competition. If you're thinking about making a move right now, hop onto your favorite real estate website and see, are there any homes that are comparable to mine in my neighborhood or in my general area? Maybe it's a school zone, maybe it's a zip code, and see, do I have that much competition? Now that might just be some initial research you do, but you want to ask a real estate agent to help you out figuring those details out as well. Because if you find out that maybe you're saying my home does have a few apologies, but there's no competition whatsoever, you may have the ability to demand the rules that you get to play by. So event-based pricing will allow you to get an offer quickly, but then buy time. So here's the other piece of it. Maybe if we get that offer, we can extend closing out to where you have time to go shop for that home. Your real estate professional will help you figure out a possible plan B if needed, because there are lots of plan Bs out there that you should consider along this path. We could ask for an occupancy agreement, which allows you to stay in the home longer. That's a great way to work out a deal to make your potential buy side more attractive. You sell your home and you rent it back from the seller for a period of time. So then when you go to buy your next home, it's no longer contingent. Now, this may sound really complicated over over the camera, I guess I should say. But as I said, it depends. And every conversation for me with our clients have been very different. I would challenge you to stop trying to figure it on your own, pick up the phone, give our team a call, or give your realtor a call and say, hey, here's my goals. I want to make a move. I'm not sure if now's the time to do it, but I need to build that plan first so I can feel confident and clear so I can make an informed decision along the way. Have you been in this situation before? I'd love for you to comment, share this with someone that you know that might be going through it, or even just give me a like so we can know that we're saying the right stuff that you want to hear on a daily basis. Thank you so much for watching the Chattanooga Real Estate Pulse. I hope you got a nugget today.